4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Infrastructure and Economic Development Committee meeting for April 12th. On the committee is myself, Mike O'Connor, Gladys Blackmore, John Laners, and Mayor Jackie Clayton. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have one delegation today under item 2. It's 2.1, Canelson Sand and Gravel, and I'd like to hand over the floor to Matt.
Good morning, it's Matthew Hinton with the City Engineering Department, the Capital Planning Construction Manager. I'm here to introduce Tom Hill. He's the Vice President of Construction with Canelson Rock Products. He's going to give a bit of an update for the construction of the downtown project.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you to the Chair O'Connor. Again, my name is Tom Hill. I'm the Vice President of Construction for Canelson Sand and Gravel Limited. I did want to come today and just provide a quick update on the remaining schedule to conclude the outstanding work on the downtown revitalization program, the City of Grande Prairie's Phase 4. As we all aware, I feel we had an extremely successful first season throughout the duration of the construction, but want to sit here and let Council and the committee know. We will be anticipating recommencing on May 2nd on Block 2 in between 99th Street and 100th Street, and hopefully concluding around July 18th. The majority of the scope of work has been completed. I feel the remaining scope of work is minor in nature for the most part. We will conclude our work in July, and with that being said, minimal impacts to the pedestrian traffic as well as the vehicular traffic is expected throughout the duration. So no lanes will be closed at any duration of time. No sidewalks will be closed throughout any duration of time. All pedestrian access and business frontage access will be maintained. So if Mother Nature allows, you'll see us back on the street on May 2nd of 2022.
Perfect. I see Gladys Blackmore in the queue.
Just to clarify, you said between 99th Street and 100th Street, but are you not doing the sidewalks between 98th and 99th?
You are 100% correct. It's from 98th and 99th. And all remaining work is behind the curb. So it's removing the temporary asphalt, installing the concrete slab, installation of the paving stones, and then some of the site furnishings and landscaping items remaining.
Okay. I see Councillor Thiessen in the queue.
Thank you very much, Chair O'Connor. Appreciate it. Gentlemen, there was some concerns from business owners about the cleanliness of the frontage of their building, their walls along the streets of construction, from dust and construction dirt and all that stuff. Is there a plan as part of you guys going on the streets and helping those businesses clean the frontage of their buildings?
Good question. Thank you. And yes, there is a plan. We employ 2 full-time, janitorial services that are required and responsible for cleaning windows, doors, walkways, entrances, all of that. We do plan to accommodate the businesses and provide the cleaning service.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Bosch.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. Some questions in regards to, is there any road closures on this block too? And if there is, what's the impact?
Currently, there will be no road closures whatsoever. We will limit parking on the north and south as required to provide access for concrete pour or stone placement, but no full road closures will be granted or permitted. It will be single lane traffic throughout the duration of the remaining construction.
Okay, so single lane. Okay.
Single lane.
The other question is, as far as putting in the vegetation, both the trees and the plants, I'm not so concerned about the plants because those are, mid-block and end block, but the trees, what's your intention of impact to business?
Minimal is the intent for impact to business as far as the trees. We are behind schedule, not we, I say we as the construction team. The nurseries are behind schedule, so we're hoping to wrap up and conclude this project on July 18th, but there are delays in the nurseries getting the trees themselves. So I still feel we'll be able to achieve the window of July 18th, but I don't feel the placement of the trees are going to provide a negative impact on the businesses.
Okay, so that's minimal, but that's not an answer that is concrete. So are you looking at 2 months? Are you looking at 2 days to put trees in and to block off traffic? What are you looking at?
It will be days for the tree planting at each of the planters.
Has there been any thought to doing it after 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or Sunday so it does not impact business?
Absolutely. Yep, that's something we've been discussing at great lengths on working outside of typical business hours for those key components to limit the interference with the day-to-day typical 9 to 5 business hours.
I know that would be appreciated, particularly on block 1. That is, back to business at this point. So
Absolutely.
thank you for that consideration.
And it's the same project team as well. I would like to announce where there are no changes throughout the PR, project managers, all of our sub-trades, all of our Canelson internal crews, superintendents and foremen. We do have the entire returning staff, so I feel it will be a fairly painless conclusion to this program.
Chair O'Connor, one more?
I have 3 people in the queue, so it better be quick.
Thanks, Dad. So the other question is, you can lay bricks approximately 20 meters a day. You will not be blocking off the entire sidewalk, correct? Just that 20 meters?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next in the queue is Councillor Thiessen, then Councillor Berg, and then the Mayor, Jackie Clayton.
Thank you very much, Chair O'Connor. Councillor Bosch's question was fairly close to mine. My question was in regard to pedestrian flow and how impacted pedestrians would be to access the businesses. Is there? I know you're only doing 20 meters, but does that mean that portion while you're laying is closed off and pedestrians or customers will have to access the businesses via the alleyways?
Thank you for the question. Definitely not. The intent is not to have pedestrians accessing businesses through the alleyway. We'll accommodate them through the construction zone, even though it's that 20 meters where they're installing the paving stones. If we have to, we will hand around them to the front door access.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Berg.
Yeah, thank you. 2 questions. You'd mentioned cleaning. So as a follow-up, can that start immediately or is that part of the same timelines to start as when you start construction?
Thank you. I will discuss that immediately with our project management and I guess the 2-person responsible for cleaning. And if we can get out there and start cleaning, we absolutely will. So that will be a further discussion this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, because I know that, and rightfully so, it did get too cold in the fall to do that without causing ice and some other issues. So as soon as possible would be appreciated by some of the businesses. You also mentioned that you feel you had a successful year last year, and I know many businesses downtown feel otherwise. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to share a couple of the major successes that you feel, things that did go right.
I do feel that there are a significant amount of things that did go right. I know we've worked diligently with a lot of the businesses downtown, and there have been some issues, but I know with a lot of positive feedback from the council, committee, local ratepayers, other subcontractors, I do feel the project was successful. All of the major components were completed through top lift of paving operations. We had an incident-free season. There were no safety infractions throughout the duration of the project. I do feel pedestrian traffic and vehicular traffic were kind of handled and managed accordingly. And again, we had the luxury of only losing 5 weather days last year, so we did take advantage of an extremely dry season. So yes, we're not as far along as we'd like to, but again, we knew at the planning stage there was a good opportunity that this project was going to carry into 2022, so that shouldn't be a surprise, and it definitely wasn't a surprise to myself.
Okay, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair O'Connor. Thanks for coming today. Curious on you talk about one lane being closed. It's one lane and parking, I'm assuming, being closed?
Correct, but we are going to try to maintain parking at all times. So when we're working on the north leg or the north side of the street, we're going to push traffic as far south as possible, still allowing parking on the south side. It may get a little convoluted when we're working on both sides at the same time, but we are going to reach out to co-op to possibly see if we can do some work on private property to limit some of the parking interference as well. So the plan is to have obviously one lane traffic, but to provide as much on-street parking as possible.
So in the lane that normally would be the second lane of traffic, can there be parking there?
We're currently, tentatively, yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, seeing nobody in the queue, thank you very much for giving your update, and thank you.
Thank you.
We will now go to item 3 in camera. I need to entertain a motion. Councillor Blackmore.
I would move we go in camera.
We're good? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone. With the continuation of our meeting, we will now go into reports. 4.1, Director Service Area Report.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. We'll start in economic development. In March and April, we've issued 4 training grants and 1 barrier-free grant under our Economic Development Recovery Grant Program, as well as the development incentive grants. We've issued 1 business revitalization grant for $25,000, and we are working with a number of applicants right now and should see some more applications coming in. On May 18th, Rebecca Dodd, our Economic Development Manager, has been invited to speak at the Edmonton Real Estate Forum and to speak on opportunities in Grande Prairie. And as well, we have partnered with the County of Grande Prairie and the MD of Greenview to host a booth at the Global Energy Show in Calgary from June 7th to 9th. Moving to energy and environment, with Earth Day coming up, there's a joint event with the county this Friday. It will be, or sorry, I should say 2 Fridays from now, April 22nd. This year there'll be a display of electric vehicles by their owners discussing EV ownership in this region. Attendees can also enter to win an e-bike, and there'll be an event from 2 to 8 at Teresa Sargent Hall. There's also free transit that day. As well, we're continuing on with GP Grows this year, and it's changed a little bit. This year there'll be a seed bar at Earth Day, and participants will be able to come and select the type of seeds that they'd like to take home. In engineering, we've posted 2 new tenders, one for 84th Avenue rehabilitation between 100th Street and Resources Road, as well as a tender for 116th Avenue rail crossing drainage. Closing, we've had the tender for the rehabilitation and geometric upgrades for 100th Street between 116th and 128th Avenue. And this will be a fairly significant project with the upgrading of some deep storm sewers and the full construction of the existing road. And for anybody looking to see where we are doing work this year, the city's traffic planner app is up to date, and you can access that on the city's website. In transportation, we're commencing a number of traffic counts. So you may see people sitting around at intersections doing some counts over the next little while. That's what they're doing, and this helps inform what capital projects and upgrades that we do throughout the city. For street sweeping, we're about 15% through priority 2, with priority 1s being done with their first pass. All center islands have been swept, and crews will be moving on to grass boulevards here shortly. In parks, staff have removed all community rinks and have begun the annual trail sweeping program. And we're also in the final stages of awarding the capital tree replacement program, which will see us finish up our tree planting in Hillside as part of the area redevelopment plan. And we should start seeing trees arrive the first 2 weeks of June. And that's my report.
Thank you. I have a question for Director Glavin. I don't see anybody else in the queue. On that 100th Street rehabilitation, what's the impact on the businesses in that corridor? Because that's quite a large project.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. There'll be definitely traffic disruption in that area. However, that area also has service roads, mostly on both sides, so there still will be decent access to those businesses, and we will be maintaining traffic flow. There'll be lane closures, but there'll still be north and south traffic.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair O'Connor. Director Glavin, last summer, albeit it was a larger capital plan summer, we did a map where we showed people where we were going to be approximately when. Can you see if that's possible again this year? I think it was useful for people to know where we're doing overlay, where we're doing certain things, and the estimated time frame.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. I'll confirm with communications, but I believe that is in place.
Thank you. I see no other issues or questions. There is no correspondence. There's no other business. No bylaw and policy review. We will go to item 8, outstanding items list.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. One update on the list. We initially had item 1170, the micro hydro generation, slated for this meeting, but just due to the size of the agendas, we decided to move that on as it wasn't time sensitive, so that should be on the next agenda, as well as item 1185, the Aberdeen building and drainage and fencing. And with that, I believe that's the only update to the abstain items list.
Okay, I need a motion.
I move that we accept the, whatever this list is called, outstanding items list as amended.
Thank you. That carried unanimously. And are we taking a meal break or what's the plan? We're just going into the next till we're done? Okay. We'll take 5-minute break to get the technology moved around. Thank you.